Welcome, welcome, welcome to Webflix and Chill. Okay, and Grill. Okay. So, what is Webflix and Grill? AKA the spinoff of Netflix and Chill. So, if anyone knows what Netflix and Chill means, it means to go over and watch Netflix and chill, have a chill situation. But here today on Webflix and Grill, we're going to watch a flicks from the web, and guess what? We're going to grill us and talk about it. Yes, we're not going to just grill and talk about different things about grilling and eating food. Maybe that will be later on. We can have like a barbecue grill. But today we're grilling the filmmakers. So I'm going to bring them up to introduce themselves. Awesome. Today we have Ty Sky, the DJ, and my cousin, Uncle Richard. So I'll
Hey,
let you start, Uncle Richard.
hey everyone. Can you hear me? Perfect. My name is Richard Pelzer. I live in New York City, Harlem. Yeah, I've been a filmmaker now, I would say professionally for just about 6 years. Started off as a talent manager when I first moved to New York. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Went to Kent State University. Um, what else would you guys like to know?
How have you contribute to the film industry? Anything like that? Any of your contributions that you would like to share at this time?
Well, as a filmmaker, I'm more of a producer, so I'm the behind the scenes, as the consultant, the guy that's raising the money, working on marketing and promoting, making sure that we have an audience, developing an audience, all that stuff in the back. Love storytelling, love creating places and spaces where we would be able to share our own stories and to amplify it. So that's what I love to do. That's what I bring to the table.
Awesome. That is so great. And then we have on another film industry on the other side, someone who actually does filmmaking as well. So Ty, did you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? We can't we can't hear you, Ty. Okay. While Ty is getting his audio together, can you hear us? I think I heard something.
You hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Now you can hear me but can't see me, but it's all good.
Yep.
So yeah, my name is Tascott the DJ. I am based in Baltimore. Originally from Jersey. I've been in Baltimore for about almost 15 years now. Uh, but really started out on the music side of things and started scoring and doing sound design for some movie projects. Always love movies, always love storytelling, always love sci-fi. Um, so that kind of the products that I have definitely sci-fi based theme. I love to see putting our culture, our identity, our folks in stories about the future, because a lot of times when you see these stories, for some reason, we're either missing or the type of characterizations that we're in, is not as positive. But I definitely wanted to say that we are in the future and we are thriving and successful and creative and all that good stuff. So I just look forward to you know this conversation that we're having today.
Awesome. That's great. I appreciate your additions to that. And I appreciate y'all both coming here today because of the unique perspectives that you both can share on a lot of different things, touching on storytelling, touching on producing and collaboration and the different things that we have to do in the film industry. So let's get started. So Let's start right off with immersive storytelling techniques. Let's discuss our innovative storytelling methods unique to mixed reality platforms. And for those who don't know what mixed reality platforms, that could be anything like virtual reality, augmented reality, or mixed reality.
You want me to jump in and join and say something?
Sure.
So so I found it very fascinating jumping on and getting involved with in the metaverse and virtual reality. Again, I said, sci-fi and all that stuff. I really love that stuff. But like, I just saw early on that there was lots of opportunities to do things in that space, but not just contained in that space, but leverage that technology to do things outside the space. So the fact that you can have live, which is essentially live action animation, right? Where a lot of traditionally either animators either drawing or it's like computer animated and it's rendered, and then have some things where very isolated motion capture experiences, but
Mhm.
with this you could literally um, film the entire project inside VR, using live action actors that are actually, performing the lines live as they're being recorded, but just they're just in an avatar. They're in a 3D, animated. I say animated, but a 3D persona, which just really makes for a lot of interesting and creative things that you can do that maybe not even been done before.
That's so true. And a lot of people, what they could relate it to is kind of like animation, how animation with anything goes, anything's possible. We were able to see, I remember Looney Tunes. I don't know why Road Runner is coming through my head, but like I imagine, the different things that were able to happen in those different cartoons that we couldn't see in real life,
Hmm.
IRL. And now we're able to utilize mixed reality to do the same thing. That's awesome. How about you, Richard?
Well, one of the things that excites me about the technology is the amount of people that you guys would be able to reach, and creatively how you would be able to actually do it. We just came out of a pandemic. I don't know if we're totally out, but we came out of a pandemic, and I just found it to be really interesting on how people were still creating films and telling stories in their own homes. And I do think that this is another way that those early adopters that are storytellers be able to start to use this technology in a really great way. So traditionally, you would do these castings, you would have to meet people, you find a space. Now you can actually do this virtually and just meet people from all around the world and be able to tell different and unique stories as well. So I do think it's a blessing. I do think that we're really ahead of the game, but I love having these types of conversations now because it's that area of discovery where we would be able to kind of pull it all apart and put it back together. So I'm excited about it.
So true, so true, because collaboration is very important. And with the pandemic, we were able to see how small of a world it really is and how easy it is to collaborate with people that aren't in our geographical location. So it's amazing that you brought up that, because it's very hard trying to collaborate with people and their schedules, but making it virtual and allowing immersive experiences to allow storytelling. You can work with anyone from around the world. So let's just go
Literally.
right into collaboration in XR filmmaking. So I met the DJ, Ty Scott, the DJ, actually at Harlem Film House during in the metaverse. I met him virtually. I haven't been able to meet him until August. So it's from what, February to August. I didn't even meet you face to face, but I was able to use that opportunity through XR filmmaking to meet you, to collaborate with you on different things. You given me great advice throughout the process. I appreciate how we collaborated together, and I'll let you speak on that, or any other collaboration that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it was really dope how, again, like you were able to work with all these folks. We were all able to be in this cohort together, people from all over the United States, and potentially, I thought that there was a couple people outside. I think it was somebody in Brazil and um, but there's people all over, potentially all over, and we're just all in this room, and they're working on a common goal. And you kind of touched on it too. Is like you can, like traditionally you have to go out and scout sites and, all these different places for different scenes and stuff. But literally you can build or have built anything that comes to your imagination. And we all can appear in that environment and tell our story. So, I mean, I think that's amazing. I think the other important part of it is that you're able to. All right. So if you are a like VR user or metaverse user, for the most part, to get the experience, you have to put on your headset and goggle, and you have to go into these VR platforms. The things that we're doing and that we have done and been able to do is be able to use the platform to tell a story, but then be able to share that story outside of the metaverse. So again, you have a much wider audience, and they may become curious if they even like, wait, how did that get done? Yeah, they may get curious to, come into these spaces and see what's going on. Like, and the other amazing thing is, like, for example, like Sunset is the series that I created. Um, all of the scenes in that series, they're actually real life scene, well, not real life, but real existing scenes in metaverse platforms. So if you have your headset, you can actually go into the actual rooms and scenes, and there's a club scene, you can go to the actual club. We actually have virtual parties in that club on a regular basis too. So you can not only watch it, but you can actually go into the actual space, walk around, sit, interact, in the actual space that was filmed in the series.
Awesome. And like, that's amazing that you brought that up, because it is difficult trying to go to different locations. It costs a lot of money to do those things, but in this virtual immersive experience, we're able to do things like come together, scout different locations, all for a low cost. So that's a great addition. Did you want to touch on that, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of collaboration. I mean, I'm a marketer by heart, so the goal really is, how do we put this thing together, and we all generate and make revenue and money. And if there's a way that someone is working on some kind of, you know, project technology, or uh, a movement that is either new, unique, or something that could be enhanced by others, I think is great. I love the idea that, you guys already in your series have a space that's a club, but when the film isn't going, you guys still would be able to, engage an audience that is familiar, and training them how to participate in this space outside of the film, so, or the series. So when the series comes out, it's not so foreign to them that this is like a normal kind of thing. I do think that that's really important. I always try to tell people this is still show business. The more you show, the more business you can do. So as we are creating, we're still also, developing this thing called community, which people say it all the time. Yo, I got this community, but do you really know these people? Do you really know how to engage them in that way? And I think that this is a very cool and unique way that you guys will be able to attract, additional sponsors and additional people to be able to help you make these films, because it can be expensive. So I just wanted to put that little part into it as well. I mean, I think that you guys are doing an awesome job.
Thank you so much. And that ties into what Ty was saying in terms of increasing reach. Like, not only are you increasing that reach, but you're increasing that community, you're increasing your exposure and your connections, your networks. But like you said, you have to build those relationships. You just can't just think you're going to build this large community and not be able to nurture and cultivate and grow that community. Awesome. So for right now, we're going to switch it up, and then we're going to do word association. So the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this word, you'll go ahead and shout it out. Now, the only rules is that you have to say a movie reference in order to get a point. You
Okay.
ready?
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll repeat it again. So a word is going to come up on the screen, and then you're going to shout it out, right? And then whoever shouts it out first, in order to get that point, is going to be 3 rounds. In order to get that point, you're going to have to either tell the favorite scene of the movie or act out the scene of the movie.
Oh man, now you added you adding rules to it now.
Oh, did I just say the movie? I'm sorry. You ready?
Oh,
I'm not
I'm
good
ready.
at these types of games, but all right.
Yeah.
You'll do great. All right, ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Movement.
Oh,
And this is
all right,
movement
movement. All right, movement. Boom.
that either can be like movement or of movement.
So I'm going to say movement. The film that I could associate with this is actually two films. No, so, the film I can associate it with is a movement with. Actually, I'm gonna go with what I got on right here. Do the right thing, right? So even though it wasn't a traditional movement in the sense of something that was ongoing over time, it was definitely the spark of a movement of protest in that movie. Um, when they were protesting Sal's and the pizzeria, and it was kind of like on the surface, it was like because there was no brothers on the wall, right? But really, I think it spoke to something larger as far as you know folks not of the communities having businesses in the communities where the people in the communities themselves feel like or don't have as many opportunities to own and and have own stores, own businesses, and all that in that community in that movie. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Awesome, awesome. So I'll give you that point. Do the right thing, which is which is a great way of storytelling. That is a great movie, and the way that you depicted it. If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie to go watch. Our second one, Afrofuturism.
Afrofuturism. All right, I'm gonna go for. I'm actually say I'm gonna tell my age a little bit. Like I could go with the Black Panther route because obviously Afrofuturism, but one of my favorite movies of all time is The Wiz. The Wiz with Michael Jackson and Diana Ross and everybody. So like to me, that was one of my earliest memories of what I felt like Afrofuturism is or could be without even knowing what it was. It's just like it was fantasy. It was in this, and it was in a world that a world of make believe, and have all these outrageous and creative characters. Um, and yes, it was based off the Wizard of Oz, but in that rendition, like a lot of our culture was brought into that story. So there you go.
If you believe. Say- yes,
You
yes.
took it home. There it is.
Yes, yes. I'll give you that point. I'll give you that point. So, should we go to the third one? Like, did you play?
Yeah, one more.
Okay, okay, all right. Let's go. One more. Club.
Wow. What's a club movie? Um, I'll jump in. Club. I would say Harlem Nights. I don't know why that's the first one that came to my mind. I absolutely love that movie. Um, I saw it when it was in the theater, so that shows you how old I am. And um, I just thought that all the comedians in there were hilarious. And Della Reese, who was my favorite when she was, saying to Eddie Murphy, "You're gonna shoot off my pinky toe." you know, are you saying I'm stealing? Now I have to. So that's my rendition of that movie.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for playing, Evo. That was awesome. I hope that was a little light to kind of break up the questions because we did just jump right in there. Did you enjoy it? I know I just threw the
Oh, I
game
did.
on
I
you.
thought it was great.
Yeah, like I'm usually horrible at this type of games where you have to like rapidly think of something. So,
Mhm.
like I was, I was proud of myself.
Awesome, awesome. And then, so how about so for do the right thing? How would you do that in an immersive experience?
Oh, yo. So I mean, it would actually really be interesting to do that in an immersive experience. So, this you're talking about the sets. Like, I like you. We could recreate any set virtually, like down to the T. Like, and you can make it as stylistic as you want, or you can make it as realistic as you want. If you wanted to make it feel more like an animated, Pixar type of thing, you can do that, like Soul, whatever. Or you can go for super hyper realism, where like you're looking at people like, is that face real? So it just depends on how you want to go with it. Like, you could, build the Brooklyn Brownstones. You could have the pizza, the store, and all that. But again, and getting actors, real life actors in there to actually play these parts while you're actually filming them, just as if you're on a real, real life set. So yeah, I mean, I think it would be dope to do something like that, and it would actually lend itself well to being redone in VR.
Awesome. And then how would you re or how would you produce um Harlem Nights or a new Harlem Nights, a rendition of Harlem Nights?
Well, I mean, I think that the movie was so iconic, especially because of the clothing. So I
Mm,
just think that if there's a way that we would be able to, have, you know, I, I guess guys would be able to have this closet that people can kind of go in and pick the outfits that they would actually really like to actually wear.
mm,
I
mm,
just think that would be, something really dope that they would be able to kind of play with the costumes. And then, there's so many famous lines in there that people could, pick what they're wearing and do the lines. So that's the way that I kind of see that being a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun and bring kind of that nostalgic feel to the rendition. I think that's awesome. So with all these ideas, as you guys said before, with collaboration, there comes challenges and opportunities. And I would like to for y'all to kind of speak on that a little bit, not just for the XR filmmaking, but for regular and traditional and other filmmaking as well.
Well, I mean, I'll start off with the challenges when it comes to collaboration. Everybody's not always at the same point. So language is really important. Communication is really important to really understand who you're working with, and being able to articulate in a creative way that I still might need to learn a little bit more, or I'm just not there yet, or being able to have hopefully patience and time on getting where you need to actually go. Or the opportunity is developing that relationship so you guys would be able to kind of meet together. I mean, I have my business partner that I just happen to know him for a very long time, but I know him now. So it's not into, me guessing or figuring out what his capabilities are. I really know, what he is capable of doing, and he knows how capable I am too. But just starting off that relationship, there's everybody has these anticipations, or they'll come in with, oh, I thought that you knew how to code all of this, or thought that you knew how to do all of that, and or vice versa. So I just think that assumptions are really bad, and it just takes time for you to be able to really understand, what collaboration is. It does take time. So I would just share that.
Awesome. And then like in your experience, like how long would you think? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I've known this person for 3 months." That's a long time. What would
Well,
you say to that listener?
I would just really just use like one phrase that Maya Angelou always says: when people show you who they are, believe them. You know, I mean, game recognizes game, and you can tell when it's just not right. And I just think, again, and I always share this when I go into business with anybody, I'll lie with you. I'll even lie for you, but don't lie to me, because that makes absolutely no sense. Like, so it's you have to kind of go through that part of the process. So I can't really put a timeline on it. I think that the timeline is going to be how long you're willing to take the relationship. So, again, if it takes 3 months, it takes 3 months. If it takes 3 weeks, it takes 3 weeks. If it takes 2 hours, it just takes 2 hours. So, I think that it's going to be what it's actually going to be, depending on what you need, to get through the process.
Awesome. That's great advice, because a lot of people put a time limit to that when you're just really building that friend relationship, trusting your discernment, and using that divine spirituality to guide you through these types of situations.
Well, I just want to actually just say one more thing too. I mean, I play spades a lot, and there's certain people in my family that I do not partner with, i.e., my youngest sister, because first of all, she doesn't play consistently for me. Because if she play consistent and you play bad all the time, then play bad all the time. Like, I don't need you to start thinking and playing good, because I'm playing for you. We're partners, so be consistent, and I will be able to, make up the difference. But all of a sudden now you're getting smart. It's crazy. So I don't play with her. But I do think that it's really important that, you get to, what we do. We have privilege, and storytelling to me is privilege, because I could do anything. And I want this to be fun. I really want this to be able to, as a career, and I look at this as a career, um, and as a creative career, and as a creative entrepreneur, I could get a regular job and, 9 to 5, buy aspirin and take all the heat. But in this space, I get to pick and choose the people I want to work with. I give them grace. We discover this together, blah, blah. But if it's going to be a burden and something that I don't want to do, I usually leave those people alone.
That's awesome. Because spades is a great analogy, and if anyone plays spades out there, you know exactly what you mean, because it's like you just don't sit at the table with anybody. You just don't sit down across from anybody as your partner. It's rules to the game. So I love that analogy of playing spades. Did you want to touch on the challenges and opportunities, Ty? And
Yeah, I'll talk about the technology of it. The technology is both an opportunity and a challenge at the same time. Again, being able to, like I mentioned, be able to bring all these people together in one room from all over the world, and be able to, capture this performance, that is, that is a huge, huge opportunity, like something it was unheard of to be able to do before. Now, at the same time, the technology can be a challenge as well. Number one, if you're talking about, it does take some level of technical proficiency to be able to navigate that space. Even to be able to get in, get your headset on, get into the room. Some platforms out there have a higher, uh, I don't say, some platforms are a little quicker to pick up than others. I know one of the platforms that I chose, VR chat, um, versus like say a Horizon. Like Horizon is really like literally you just put on your headset and you click the button and you're pretty much in the world. Now VR chat takes a little bit more setup up front, but once you're set up, then you're good to go. So there's some technical know-how and comfort that you have to have. And when it comes to actually the filming and editing of those things, like the performances, the movements of some of the avatars. You have to do certain things to um, make them come across as more natural. To especially when you come in for audiences outside the metaverse. Inside the metaverse, people are very used to like some of the type of motions that are typical. The way avatars move, the way they can kind of like quickly like slide from one. If you're in the metaverse, then you're used to that. But if you're telling a story, you want to suspend that belief, and you don't want people to get hung up on the technology. So there's certain ways that you want to record. There's certain ways that you want to edit. There's certain ways that you want the actors to move. I'll give an example. And when you're in the metaverse, you don't recognize this or until you record it and look on the outside. Most people, when they're in VR, they're sitting in their chair and they have their headsets on, and they have their controllers in their hand like this. So that means the character on the screen is always has their hands out like this, moving around, and that's just not natural. So when we're filming, we're like, okay, you gotta take away the dead hands. So you put have people stand. You got to stand up, put your hands to your side, and kind of move around like you naturally would as you're talking, versus sitting in a chair like this and then going through your lines, because it looks weird. It looks very weird when like that. So I mean, that's just a small thing, that there's little things that you have to do to compensate and make sure that you're putting yourself in the shoes of the audience so that the technology does not get in the way of the story.
That's awesome. Because a lot of people have short attention spans, or a lot of different, or a lot of things that are different to them. They might, or you might lose their engagement. So
Hmm.
it's like, it's awesome how you keep that in mind. Like, hey, make sure you're being as natural as possible, because right now we do have those challenges as technology advances. We probably won't have those in the future, because we've seen where we've come from.
Yeah.
So the future is, who knows, what's like, sky's the limit, not that, space the limit, not that. Like, there's no limit to where this can go. So I appreciate you speaking on that, which also ties us into our last discussion, the future of XR entertainment, or immersive entertainment. Do you have any predictions or insights? I know, like, with all the different things that they're building towards, with these different places where you can experience movies and art, and just a bunch of different avenues of music and different facets. Do you have any predictions or insights that you would like to share with our listeners?
I'll jump in. I mean, I think that, like you mentioned, the technology is going to improve more and more. Where it's going to be it's going to be to a point where the it can get to a point where the graphics and it can be almost indistinguishable between real life. You know, so with that, it's like I see a lot of overlay and interaction with um, XR elements and real life elements, right? So they just came out with the Quest 3. And one of the features about the Quest 3 that is very fascinating is the AR feature, where you basically put on the headset, um, but you actually see your natural environment around you. You see your room, and they are VR elements that can be placed in the scene within your room. So like I see in situations in the future where things are like very highly interactive, like storytelling. Like I could be sitting in this room and a either a character or something like I turn around and they actually come through the door and I'm sitting there talking with them, and it's superimposed within my actual real environment. So whether it's something that's like a pre recorded performance or an actual a live performance, I can see that interacting almost directly with your real life environment in crazy ways.
And for those who aren't familiar with the headsets and things like that, did you want to explain to them kind of like what the MetaQuest 2, like the difference between the MetaQuest 2 and the MetaQuest 3 of like the different AR? Because like we tap to the side and
Mhm.
it's like that gray. So did you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I touched on it a little bit. Like I'm still looking at all the future differences, but in general, like so the Quest 2 is like the current is the model right before the Quest 3. Duh, makes sense. Quest 2 is Quest 3, right? So with the Quest 2, like say if I put my headset on, then I am like self-contained in whatever metaverse environment that I'm looking at within my headset, right? So if I wanted to see what's going on in my actual room, then I could double tap it, and it's like a really grainy back black and white picture, and it's just really just like, hey, if my cup is over here, like just to so you can see real quick, so I can move something out the way. It's just like more of utility, like oh, is this, I don't know, something just so you can see real quick for reference. Oh, my keyboard is here. Let me just move it here, and then get back into the metaverse or VR platform. Now with the Quest 3, your actual real life environment, you're not just limited to what you see inside your headset only. Now you can see what's inside the headset, but it's kind of, it's superimposed, but there is some interaction. It's kind of like laid over to what you're seeing in your real room and your real environment. And instead of it just being like this grainy, like black and white picture, it's like full color, high quality, that you can see your environment. So it really opens up a lot of possibilities, so that when, let's say, I have my phone here, right? Oh, I have my phone here, right? And let's just say, I don't know, just making something up. My phone is actually blank in real life, but my Quest 3 recognizes that I have a phone in my hand, and it can show a layer of a screen over my phone, and I could interact with that screen on my phone. It's not really happening in real life, but I'm interacting with it from what I can see in my headset and making it do things. And I'm just making up any kind of scenario, but I could see lots of different things and lots of different opportunities happening like that.
Right. There was a series that I was watching where they actually put contact lenses in the person's eyes, and they were able to do similarly what you were talking about. Like, so, I mean, going from the goggles to contact lenses, hey, you never know. We might get there and then be able to do those
You
projections onto our
talking about
phone.
Black Mirror? Black Mirror, is that that's what it was?
Um, no, yeah, no, I wasn't talking about that reference, but yes, I know what you're talking about in Black Mirror. I love Black Mirror, but Awesome. What about you, Richard? Anything that you, because I know you were talking to me about the developments going on in Vegas and things like that. Did you want to touch on any of the future
Well,
predictions and insights?
I just wanted to say a couple things. One, for both of you, I think that this is extraordinary because we need people that are already playing and developing and creating in this space very early to really understand this technology. So one, I commend you on that because I think it's really important to really understand um, um, how to be able to use this stuff, because if it's too far in advance, it's hard to catch up. So this is a really great way for it, because I mean, Quest 2, Quest 3, it's not a thing, but I'm glad that there's somebody out there that truly understands it. So one, I appreciate that. Two, I do think that when it comes to this type of storytelling, it's totally, endless. I mean, the sky, as you said, the space, like, is really out there. And my thing as a producer and the somewhat sometimes the money guy is really ownership. I really want us to be able to own our own stories, be able to pass that on from generation to generation. The technology that we create, the utilizing the software and technology and creating something else that I didn't even know that that could actually do that. I mean, this is what this time is really spent for, and I'm really hopeful that we would be able to frog leap over so many other things to be able to kind of share all this stuff. So I just wanted to stay on that part. I hopefully any of the listeners out there setting up their businesses to saying, hey, this is what I would be able to do, from security to entertainment to storytelling to all of this stuff. I just think that it's dope. So
Mhm. Definitely dope. Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that because sometimes I can always feel like, am I behind the curve? Like, am I need to do this now? Like, I need to hurry up and to hear like you're ahead of the curve. You'll help bridge those gaps. Is helpful to me to say like, you know what? Yes, like I continue to go forward, creating those opportunities, closing those gaps because there are people who aren't knowledgeable, aren't aware of the technology and how to utilize it, but have stories to tell. And we can collaborate together and utilize our networks to pull things together that we would deem impossible in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s, like things that we wouldn't be able to um, fathom at that point in time where I remember, my parents talk about the black and white TVs. I remember having a floor model TV. Like, people always talk about the TVs with the humps in the back, but I'm like, hey, you wasn't moving that TV. That TV stayed where that TV was, the
Hmm.
box TV. So, to imagine us going from that to where we are now is amazing, and to see how the generations beyond us are going to utilize it to tell their stories is amazing to think about as well.
yep. And the only thing I would add to that is, as you guys are creating and developing even within the storytelling space, is to become, solution driven. I mean, when we're in there, hey, did you guys think about this? And probably, I would say 9 out of 10 times they weren't thinking nothing like that. Just in just general storytelling. I'm working on a project now, and it's a very traditional film, but I would love to experience with all of the B-roll and the behind the scenes, is to be able to figure out how I would still be able to tell this story in a very unique way. So I think that there's numerous opportunities that we would be able to do to still test it out. And you're, again, so ahead of the game, because there are a lot of folks that aren't even thinking about that, even in advertising. So I mean, I'm still stuck on, yeah, we have this club that's physically in the space, but we also, you you can that bring people in. And I just think again, that's a very unique way of thinking. And how do you continue that on? And that's why when we were just talking about Harlem Nights, the first thing that I thought about was their clothes. But is there a way that I would be able to kind of dress up and be my favorite character, or switch and
And all
be
that,
another?
and the answer that definitely is definitely possible. Like like not even sure how we can do that. It's like no, it can be done. Like there are people, and then the thing is, you find out there are people with all specializations, and a lot of us in that community become work together just on various things. Sometimes it's not even like a big movie, just like it's a quick event, something like this. But we start to pool our resources and our expertise. Like there's people who create outfits for avatars. There's people who specialize in like the scripting, like you said, the switching off of things. And so where you can have one avatar that can literally have like almost a wardrobe within their options. They can switch off the pants, switch off the shirt, switch off. So like all these things, I mean, it's amazing and it's possible. And I do have to, and I thank you again, because I do have to stop and also realize that we are in some ways in the bleeding edge of technology. Like once you get into our communities within in metaverse, it's easy to say like, oh man, I don't know how to do that yet, or like oh wait a minute, how does that happen? Oh, you're still figuring things out, but the technology itself is so far ahead of what's out there that it's easy to get caught up in what you don't know yet, versus being thankful and grateful and really expounding on what you been able to learn up to this point. So.
I agree. I mean, I totally agree, and I would take full advantage of that. I mean, I really, really would. And I'm gonna throw something out at you guys. I mean, take it however. But I'm the project manager for the Harlem Fine Arts Show. I'll put it in the chat, but it's hfas.org. It's going to be the last weekend in February, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's about 6,500 square feet, so it's fairly big. We get about between 8 to 10,000 people over the 3 days that come to visit. And I'm always solution driven. Like I'm just trying, like, so our sponsors will come and they'll say, yo, I got this car, car is a piece of art. What can we actually do? Like it's very difficult and hard to paint on the car, at the space, but can I actually put on these goggles? And then all of a sudden you guys can kind of paint. Like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how we would be able to do that, but it just seemed like multiple people could get paid for doing doing that stuff. So I just wanted to kind of show it out,
There's a
because
couple of ways
digital
you.
art is
Yeah.
huge at this point in time, and we're not doing any digital art at this point. So I'm still a year, 2 years ahead, but this is a great way for us to be able to start that conversation. So I just wanted to throw that out to the group.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with that. There's a lot of things, and some of those things don't even require, may not even require a headset. So like just like you utilizing your phone to your phone camera can kind of recognize the car, that it's the car, and
Yep.
now you can kind of superimpose things, or you can make things kind of interactive, or show more information about the piece, or there's lots of things that could be done.
Yep. So again, we're open to all of that. It's at the Glass House, and again, I can share all that stuff um, with you, Autumn, and you can share it with the group. And any ideas or any suggestions, by all means, I'm open to it all. Yep, that's us.
I think
Yeah.
about the like the MUAs, like MUAs stand from the makeup artists, that can come in and collaborate with people who do design, where they'll be able to collaborate together to make those faces look exactly like a rendition of the film. I think of people who do the body wraps and the textures and everything like that to recreate a space to make it look exactly like it is. I think of the 3D technology that we have that can actually go into space and make someone feel like they're walking into the space, that especially with the AR capabilities that we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
It would just be very I wouldn't say easy, but very simple to recreate anything IRL which stands for in real life, as a immersive experience.
Absolutely.
And go ahead and use the QR code to go to the HFAS, the Harlem Fine Art Show website.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And again, as I said, I'm open. So anybody's like, yo, I got a really great idea. Um, I'm the guy to talk to.
Awesome. Did you want to also talk about Harlem Clicks as well?
So Harlem Clicks is an initiative that I started 6 years ago. Initially, it was called Harlem 2020, where I worked with local businesses, nonprofits, and tourists that come to Harlem. Um, I started it over 6 years ago. It wasn't because of the year. It was really the vision, the 2020 vision. I was working with 20 different businesses, and I encouraged them to hire at least one local person. When the pandemic happened, I had to keep telling people what it stood for, and they would tell me how traumatized they were on the year. So I had to switch the name, and that's why I changed it to CLX, which was click. So I always want my own clique, my own group of folks, my own tribe. But it really is stands for create, learn, and experience. So I would love for folks to create in Harlem if you come to visit or you live here, to learn if you come to visit or you live here, or to experience if you come or if you live here, to experience Harlem. And working with a number of small business owners. As I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm really into community engagement and audience development. Community engagement is folks that are here, audience development, the idea we really would like for the audience to purchase and buy something, blah, 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 blah. That's what that's really all about. And I'm love doing it in event space and film space and digital space. And so that's what I've been working on for the past 18 months. And that's Harlem CLX. So thank you, Autumn, for letting me share what that part of the company is all about.
Awesome, yes. And then I wanted to take a moment to talk about Asc- Ascenders. So Ascenders is a project that I started working on in the Harlem Film House, where I met Ty. You can go to that QR code that you see on your screen to look at the first, the trailer, the pilot of the episode. You can also view the conversations from the culture, AI or us, the discussion that we had in New York. We when we actually met in person for the first time. You can see that conversation there, and then I'll let you gear up Sunset. And as you gear it up, you can kind of introduce Sunset. But if you go to this, you can go to the sunsetseries.tv if you go to that QR code in your screen. But I'll just let you talk about Sunset a little bit before we get to screen that.
There was a VR platform that actually shut down a couple, like last year. It was one of those platforms where like there's a lot of community, a lot of people around it. People were having events. It was really big during the pandemic because obviously people couldn't go anywhere, so they gravitated towards this platform, right? So the company made an announcement that the platform was going to shut down. So there was a lot of mixed feelings about it. Some people were excited about what's next. Some people were sad because, again, this was a space that a lot of people built a lot of relationships. So I just thought about like, wow, what would happen if this platform shut down and you happened to be in the platform, and then you went to go take off your headset and you realized that you were stuck in that platform for real life, in real life. So that's what Sunset is kind of about. So it's like after meeting in a VR app, these two long distance lovers, they find themselves trapped in the metaverse when the app is decommissioned. They only have a few days to escape. The characters Nova and Prince, they have to outwit a sinister presence called Veil to free their minds and bodies before they're trapped in the metaverse forever. Um, And thank you for putting
Forever.
forever, forever. So yes, thank you for putting that the QR code and all that up there for it. So you can also go, you can go to sunsetseries.tv um to see the trailer yourself, and see the first episode and everything for that.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And did you have it geared up for us to watch?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So when we were first working on this project, I was like, wow, that's cool because I came in on the latter end of the metaverse wave. Like I didn't have VR chat. Like I was there after VR chat had already ended. Like so it was like a new experience for me. I just received my headset and everything. And with being able to storytell and want to be able to use this platform, I really appreciate everyone's project. But Ty was one of the ones that I was like, um, I love this, and the way that you were able to utilize storytelling, the way that you were able to utilize collaboration, and you bringing your whole team up and everything like that, everything that we talked about today, you pretty much hit on with this series, and I can't wait for them to see it.
All right. Now I'm not sure if I'm sharing my screen. It says share the screen.
Yeah.
No. Uh,
Let's see.
Let me know if are you seeing are you seeing my screen right now?
No, I don't see it. Did you click the share screen? It's like a arrow in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then when I do that, it says allow to share screen. But it looks like it only allows me to share the screen that I'm in. So I'm just gonna put the window over the screen. Okay, let me know. Can you see that?
Nope, I can't see it. But Richard, I know you have to run. I really appreciate you being on here with us, and I appreciate your time. And I can't wait for us to join these conversations again. Is there any few or last words that you would like to say?
I just wanted to say thank you both for sharing the time with me as well. I learned so much. Please keep me posted. Make sure that I'm on everybody's mailing list because I need, learning is important. So I don't want to be left behind.
Awesome. You definitely won't be.
All
Have
righty.
a good one.
Great
All right.
meeting you, Richard. All
All
right.
righty. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, Ty. So we have your screen. So I see your screen. We can share it whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right.
Okay. I thought I just had it. Man, we talk about technology, and I look like I can.
Hey, it always happens to us.
All right. So now do you see a sunset screen?
um, I see. Let me see. I see. This is what we see right now. So let me see. Just it looks like that's your main screen. You might want to drag it over.
So I mean, do you see any screen that says like sunset on it at all, or no?
Mm-mm, no, the screen that I see has us on it.
Okay. It's interesting because it says when I try to share, it looks like it only wants to share. Okay. What about now? Anything?
Yep, yep.
You see
There
it?
we go.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer.
All right. I don't hear it. I don't hear the audio. Did you want to start it over? Maybe share the screen with the audio.
So no audio. Okay.
Mm. And see, this happens sometimes with technology. That's why we said there are challenges and opportunities that comes with this. Okay, so I have it, but it still doesn't seem like we have audio.
So let me
Let me see.
go to my audio settings and see if there's anything I can do. Microphone,
Okay.
Zoom.
Would you? Could you send me the link and then I'll be able to share it.
Okay. I'll put it in the chat because obviously I can't.
Yeah, no problem. All right. I appreciate everyone's patience at home.
Yes, thank you. I apologize for my fumbling on this technology right here.
Um,
Thank you all for your patience.
okay. Okay.
Okay, I can see it now on your screen.
Awesome.
We about to shut down for good. I can't believe it, but it's about to happen. Oh, here we go.
It's almost hard to believe, like, the void shutting down.
5.
Can we go some more private?
Okay.
4.
It'd be much easier if this place would just last forever.
3.
I mean, I'm telling you, something bigger going on.
2.
This is insane.
1. Hey! All right, all right. The void is officially over, yo.
Like, I'll admit, man, it does feel weird here, right? It's a little creepy. You saying you scared?
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome, awesome. So did you want to talk about that a little bit? What they actually saw in that trailer?
Yeah, so like I said, it's like so there's two lovers, in that first scene that's Nova and Prince. I'm sorry, the two lovers in the beginning scene, they are about to celebrate, like the last day this platform shutting down, right? So, there's going to be a big party, everybody comes together, and they just kind of like enjoy their last times, and moments in this space, um, but they don't realize that when when it shuts down, they're actually going to be stuck in there. So at that party in the club is the actual celebration slash party, where everybody's doing, just like kind of like a countdown, almost like New Year's Eve. They're counting down to the show, the platform about to end. Um, and next thing you know, they shut the platform down, and then they realize they're stuck. And once they're stuck, now they're trying to figure out what to do, how to get away, how to get out, just trying to understand the situation, period, to understand how grave the situation is that they're in. So again, the main characters, Journey, and Prince, they're like, again, the main couple in the series. But yeah, we just really enjoyed it, making it. We had an awesome team that came together to make that. So um, uh, there's a series starring Empress Fire, Enadi, Midwest Reese, Gene Love Major, myself, Tascott the DJ was also appeared in it. Our crew, Wine Chick Kim, Artsy and Millie, really just came together from the creative to the technical, creating the actual avatars and the characters you see, creating them, customizing their movements, customizing their expressions, um, bringing in these worlds, these environments from all the different scenes that you saw. There are different environments that were created and customized within VR and VR world, and the characters were actually inside, walking around, moving, interacting with those spaces. So we had a lot of fun, and then can't not definitely give a big shout out to Harlem Film House, and Boogie, CR Capers, and we were all in that Meta Filmworks cohort. Within Harlem Film House. This was how we all got to meet, and how we all, like, 7 different directors created 7 different projects. And then ours was, just 2 of the projects that were in that entire cohort. But it was a lot of fun. We learned a lot of things. We had mentors come in, like Warrens and Huddlin, Khalil Kane, Tanya Taylor. I don't want to start naming. I start forgetting names because I'm on the spot. But there were a lot of great industry mentors that came in to give us, I would say, years worth of information, within a short weeks, a few weeks, a time frame of, this cohort that we were in.
Very much so. And I took a lot of things from that experience. It was very beneficial to me, and I appreciate you sharing how beneficial it was for you. Again,
Jamal Hodge was up in there. I stopped remembering names. The Creative Crouch, the Creative Couch, was in there. Gave us a lot of information. So we're grateful to those folks.
yes, so many, and like to name drop, it was just like when when I realized I would have time with these people, it was just like wow, so much experience, so much creativity in that virtual space, and I was able to do that in the comfort of my own home. Like
Mhm.
that's the part that kept hitting me is like wow, I'm able to do this not going out to any different location or something like that. I literally can meet these people in the comfort of my own home. And that was on a MetaQuest 2. Imagine what that would have been like on a MetaQuest 3.
Mhm. And then you having those you know direct conversations, direct questions, back and forth. It wasn't like, oh, you're sending in questions and then they'll get back to you later on. Like, no,
No,
live in the room with
in
you,
real time.
real time, giving you this wealth of information. So
Awesome. And as we close out, is there anything that you wanted to share with anyone? I know uh, if you wanted to talk about any of the other projects that you have going on. I know you do a lot in the metaverse
mhm.
with your DJing everything. Go ahead and put yourself out there.
Yeah, so right now, kind of balancing between film, music production, also DJ performances. I do um, uh, regularly perform on DJ gigs and in the metaverse, different events and parties and clubs and birthday events and all this stuff. So that's fun. And then also in real life, I DJ as well. I have a an event that I do twice a month at a place called Terra Cafe. So I'm spinning out there live, and also doing a lot of different private events. Also, working post production, doing editing and sound design for a short film titled Finding Gene. That's directed and produced by a friend of mine, Will Boone of Afro Blue. Really a gripping, story. But the next really big thing is pulling the team back together for the remaining episodes of the Sunset series. It's been an incredible journey. With with our first episode, and really can't wait to bring the story to conclusion. There's a lot of things, a lot of pointers and lessons learned that I think we got to take away from doing that first episode, that we're able to take to the remaining ones and really step things up in a significant way, from just the look of it, to just tightening up things on the technical front, so just to make sure that story comes across as beautiful as possible. So I would say that also so again, sunsetseries.tv
Yep.
is the website for the series. Also Instagram, sunsetseries.tv is also the Instagram profile. So feel free to connect with me on Instagram. Also my Instagram is Ty Sky the DJ, and that's two Y's in Sky. So that's TYSKYY the DJ. Also follow me on Instagram so we can connect. And I love to hear from you. I love to hear what everyone out there thinks of this series. I love to hear what people think should come next in the series, so that we can, as we are, finishing out the story and bringing folks together, we want to take into account the type of things that you're feeling and thinking as we are creating it, the remaining episodes of the series.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ty. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you said today, just enlightening people about what's going on in this industry with mixed reality, with this technology, and keep us posted. Let us know what's going on. I know you're always welcome here. So, we'll see you again.
Autumn, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so glad that we was able to come together and have this conversation. So I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you. See you. Bye. Awesome. This has been a great kickoff to Webflix and Grill. Go make sure you check out sunsetseries.tv. Is going to be something that you would really be interested in. If you're interested in that sci-fi feel, go ahead and check that out. And then also check out Mental Wealthy, which is happening on Tuesday. Mental Wealthy is about generational wealth. It's not about getting our mental health in order. That definitely is a part of it, but we have to change our mindsets in order to change our financial patterns and change our financial habits and our financial strongholds. So join us on Tuesday for that, and let us know what you're looking forward to. So I'm going to get out of here. You already know who it is. It is your girl, Autumn Media. You can follow me on Autumn Media on all platforms. You can also follow me at Lukey Loose Leaf. That's LUKEY LOOSELEAF. Y'all enjoy and have a great one.